Hey, and we're on. I think we're on. Are we on? Hey everybody. Happy Tuesday or Monday, possibly for some of you. It is nice to be back, playing some music, chatting, and I just did a nice Facebook Live, being like, "Hi, I'm not going to be on Facebook, but come and hang out." So I hope you've all had a good week. I have had a very cool and interesting and all over the show week. Lots of cool things happening, but also the typical life roller coaster. Hey James, how's it going? Nice to have you all here, and I think it's going to be a busy session because I've got coffee. I'm prepared for like speed questions. We should do a speed round. But yeah, it's nice to have you all here. As you will have noticed on the channel as well, nothing happened. I have a couple of video projects that are hiding in the wings, and somehow just they have not. Well, they haven't gone quite as planned. So it's been a bit of rearranging, but it's all working. Hey Marcus Grimsh. Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you've had let's do a rating out of 10 for how your week's gone. I'm gonna say mine's been like an 8 or a 9. Like it's awesome with this, which is life, right? So I'm like, Grimsh, what amazing picture have you sent me? I like it. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Oh, nice. Another 8. Awesome. Marcus, I need to send you a message too. Thanks for your messages. Look, I said on this that I was going to kick off with a little bit of my my practice routine stuff as well. And funnily enough, as soon as 2 8s, I like it. As soon as I put up like, right, we're going to go through my practice sessions and things like that, habits. Nice, Chrissy, love it. There's a new RC30 looper in the house. Nice. Hey Ozzy, hey Matt, cheers. Oh dude, it's because it's such good yarns. You're listening to me talking about my roller coaster life and coffee. So I have to get a keep cup, I guess, and apologize to everybody else on the ride as I like flail hot coffee out the sides. Hey Chomley, nice to see you here. Actually, who's oh look, 3 RC30s. Okay. Also, in other news from last week, I did make a looping community group on Facebook, but that's exactly as far as it got. So if you look up David Shannon looping community, you will see a very blank, empty group that doesn't even have a photo yet. So if you want to join it now, feel free to. But I thought this would be cool. Obviously, if there's a bunch of you doing looping with different loop pedals and that sort of thing, and it's a way you can actually connect in with other loopers, and I'll just kind of like oversee collaboration and connection and everybody being able to help everyone out, picking each other's brains, which I think will be cool. I'll make a little community post on here once that has some sort of content and looks like it is a legitimate group, not like the midnight love child that I just happened to create and then forget about. Anyway, that was a long analogy for that. Aurelius, nice to have you here. Oh, cheers. VL3, another VL3 user. Right, there's a couple of VL3s users hiding out. Florian, hey, how's it going? So going back to where I was, talking about my practice habits, typically one of the first things I do in the morning is play the guitar, and I've been going through a bunch of other stuff life-wise at the moment. And funnily enough, on the day I'm talking about practice habits, that didn't happen. But there's a couple of things I do just as warm-ups, just getting used to playing the guitar again. Kind of like, I feel like a cat. You know when you see a cat get up and it's like, and does 101 amazing stretches. I feel like that's me on the guitar in the morning. I'm like, oh, this is all hard again, and like, okay, I need to stretch out. So I generally set a 10-minute timer just to get up and play something, and it's usually working on something specifically. Recently I've been doing a bunch of stuff with just my alternate picking and getting that happening. But for today, we're going to talk about, obviously I mentioned last week, I've been learning Ed Sheeran's Bloodstream, and just, it's the first time in a long time I've learned a loop tune that is a loop tune. Like it's just really nicely written and designed to, obviously it's one of Ed Sheeran's looping tunes, but it just works so well. So for those of you that want to like play around with this, it's a cool little tune, and the G string is just dropped to an E. So if you're an E flat, then great, you can tune with me. And if you're not, then ignore me for a moment and just tune so that that string is also an E. And again, if you're in standard tuning, it'll be a capo on the 4th fret. If you're in E flat like I am, it'll be a capo on the 5th fret. And then one of the things I do when, by the way, because if you've watched the live stream before, you realize I jump around all over the show. So if you do have questions, if you're here because you're like, I really want to ask this, put it in the chat. We will come back to it. We will get there and go through, and you can pick my brains, whatever might appear. But I just want to go through this Ed Sheeran thing. And what I do is I go to YouTube. So I'm going to open a new window. You won't see this, unfortunately. And I basically, to start with, I figured out the notes. So I've got all that happening. I take it down to like 75% playback speed. For those of you that are you can do this on your phone or on a laptop or whatever. There's a little settings icon. So the playback speed is at 78%. And the reason I do this is so that I can really listen in and get the feel, pick up, hopefully, little subtle parts of what's happening, that when it's all playing at normal speed, it's just, for me, takes a bit more harder to process and notice. And then also, especially when I'm first learning it, like I'm not going to play it at the speed that he does, because it's like day one of going, okay, do my fingers know this pattern? Am I used to it? So basically, let's see if we have some volume. Hey, you guys should be able to hear that. It's hey Julian. And then, funnily enough, I join in. I typically close my eyes, and I'm feeling the groove. So I'm listening to the drums more than anything. Okay, so we can pause Ed, because I probably didn't need to put that video on, but that's how I do it. I do a lot of stuff through YouTube if I'm learning that sort of stuff, and then guitar face. Oh no, it's happening. And then what I do is I go through my looping process with this. So it doesn't really matter where he's up to in the song. Even if I start late, I will be thinking, okay, my foot is going down on this first beat. I'm not actually using a loop pedal, by the way. I haven't set anything up. This is just my practice process for doing it. And I think, so I close my eyes and basically go through this mentally, going like, okay, so this is I'm on my looper screen. I'm going to record track A, and I stomp my foot on the ground like I would, like. stomp again, like, and that's just me being like, okay, cool, that's loop A, done, awesome. Now, in between that, that's looping on repeat. Typically, I would still keep playing this because I want it nicely locked in while I'm listening to Ed Sheeran at a nice slow pace. And then I would be mentally thinking through, okay, cool, I'm going to set track B up for recording, but I want my voice on track B as well. So I switch through the to the next thing, which has got all of, rather than just my guitar, on the Voice Live 3, I'm now recording vocals and guitar. If you're, because there's a couple of you on the RC30, if you're on the RC30, there's two options. You can either be recording your vocals and just be quiet for that first bit, or what you can do is bend down, roll the vocal off, and just remember what level you had it set up at, and that way it won't add vocal like bleed if you want the sound of the room every time you record a loop. So handy option. And then when it comes around again, wee, that's good. I can't even play it. On that note, I'm starting track B now. I'm actually at the moment, because I really want to get this totally automatic, I'm still playing that, but I'm just thinking through the process of how I'll loop it, which is, again, if you watch the video, if you know the song, he's going through and adding in his chords under it with the I like to imagine that he's thinking of something really tasty when he sings it, but you know, I haven't had the opportunity to ask him. And then there again, I'm visualizing that, okay, I'm hitting the start and overdub, because I'm going to go over that and put the higher. If my voice wants to work today. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day for singing. But that's basically the process that I do. And then again, I keep listening to it at a slow speed when I'm practicing something that I want automatic. And at some point I speed it up, and just along with the original track, I then come back. And again, I'm going to map that out. Okay, cool. Finish the overdub. It's still playing. Great. Then coming back into it, I'm going to stop track B. And I'm just left with that original. So I'm practicing all that mentally without actually trying to get the timing right, trying to make sure it all locks in, especially when I'm learning a new thing, because I, believe it or not, only have limited concentration power. So I kind of want to approach the looping when I feel confident with actually playing the piece and singing and mapping those parts out. So yeah, it's kind of how I approach it. And then obviously, again, experimenting with using Ed Sheeran's little bass for his Under the Groove. And again, I would picture like overdubbing track A and putting that in, and overdubbing the little snare, his string hit. So all of that is without a loop pedal. I haven't you know, and I know my loop pedal well, so I guess it's one of those things that I can picture easily what buttons I'm hitting. I'm just not taking the time to really have to get it out and set up, and like I find that's a barrier to practice a lot of times. Like I should practice looping, but my loop pedal's packed away and my amp's in the car, and I need to plug in leads, and you know, the rest of the house is sleeping or whatever. So I just find that's a really good way that I can map out what's happening, learn something, and also spend the time, because the most important part in that song for me is this, because it's going to be the first loop and it's straight in. That's my little loop point. So I just kind of wanted to share with you that for looping. It's a little process. I hope that's useful. You've all been super quiet on the chat, so it's either useful or you've all left and gone and maybe I distracted you with tasty snacks. But that's I'll put up a little cover once I actually put it all together. And for those of you that watched it, then this is a little kind of how it all came together. Aurelius, also, I'm glad you're alive. This is great. Good news. Yeah, it's funny. I love doing these sessions, and it's really neat doing live stuff and chatting with you all. But it is really funny, the process of going through and sharing some of what I do in this setting. It's like it has me think about and nice dive into like actually what I do and the process, and also it makes me look at songs that I haven't done this for and think, oh, it's not surprising that every now and then I have an issue with that one. So nice. I like it. If anyone else has any good snack recommendations for me, let me know. I've normally I'm yes, Aurelius, I love it. Playing blind. That's a good way to do it. Like before you even open your eyes. That'd be interesting. You're gonna have to, like, fumble around for a guitar in the morning. That'd be cool. But yeah, I think that what we're gonna do now is just turn into snack recommendations. Favorite guitar snacks. I've got some nuts. Nice. Coffee dark and sweet. All right. Nice. Nobody else sleeps with the guitars? Well, it's just one of those things that it's always interesting when you're dating and you're like, there's kind of enough space for the three of us. Oh well. Anyway, for those of you that want to, obviously, if there's anything that's been on your brains, feel free to fire something in the chat. And I hope, has anyone else been jumping back into gigs and things as well? It's been so good. It's been so good. I know New Zealand seems to be, anyway, in terms of what the media says and that. I don't follow a lot, to be honest, but it seems we're doing really well comparative to other places in the world in terms of all this fun, stuff. But yeah, it means back out doing some shows and doing some gigs, which is super, super cool. And yeah, just looking at what will be next on the cards for recording and touring and that sort of thing down the track. But for now, it's super nice to get out and be playing to real people, real humans, and interacting and having fun. Pineapple lumps. Okay, nice. New Zealand. It's a New Zealand thing. Good old pineapple lumps. Right. Nice. Snacking on Doritos, playing on sticky old strings, just gives them life. I think that's what we're going to do out of this chat. Is we're all going to set up a little company together, and we will collectively collect collectively collect the remnants of Dorito chips, the crushed bits. We'll put it into a little container, and it'll be one of those things that when your strings are old and crusty, it's just smushed, really hard pressed Doritos, and we'll smush them up and down the strings for longer life and all that. Yeah. Nice. Matt, the switches on my Switch 6. It's an excellent question. One is set to switch between the inputs. So I have obviously guitar, I have all, and the auxiliary on its own. And the auxiliary on its own, yeah, I just find that works for the combo of what's going on, because with everything on, like for my vocal, I can still mute the guitar quite easily. I don't have any real ground noise or hum coming through usually. So yeah, and I don't think I do any vocal stuff where I want the vocal coming in. Well, clearly not, because I don't have it set up to do it, but where I want the vocal coming in whilst playing a different guitar part that I don't want coming in, if that makes sense. I'm sure you understand. But I have that. I have a mute all on it. I have a raise all. From memory, I had a wah, the automatic wah set up just for mostly because it amuses me at different moments in the gig. I'm not running a volume pedal to control it. So and an erase all. Did I mention that? Don't know. I went through this on another live, I'm sure, and I was like, I think I got 3 of them. So if I got 4 of them tonight, then that's great. I haven't actually been using it a lot at the moment, and just putting myself through the process of holding down the looper button, which I dislike, but I've also gotten quite used to. Sweet. Marcus, cool. Like Bloodstream, how do I find all the parts? Honestly, for stuff like that, the beauty of something like Ed Sheeran is you can just watch him. You can watch him doing it. Yeah, is there something you're working on at the moment? Because we can maybe chat through it, and I'll connect with you after this anyway. But typically there's a lot of stuff where I either watch them playing it and doing it if it's something that's live. I listen and work out the different parts. If it's not a loop song, I want to learn what the bass part's doing, what the basics of the drum groove is, and then often I'll add my own parts. And there was actually a really good video, I don't know if you guys saw it, with Paul Davids and I'm trying to think who he is, another guy, talking about filling out different guitar parts, and they had just some super simple ideas that I would really recommend for those of you that are looping that want different ideas to fill out your sound. I will find it and put a link after this session, because it is just a really nice. It's a nice video. Obviously, Paul Davids is a great guitarist, and between the two of them, they just go through some really simple things you can do. But for looping, obviously they're talking about when you're playing with somebody. But for looping, we are somebody that we're playing with, and so those ideas can become a second or third part on the guitar. But yeah, sometimes, man, the more you learn some of these ideas, Marcus, you'll start to hear different parts and be able to replicate them and put them in. But nice, Aussie. Yeah, it's do I ever use automatic vocal harmonies? Marcus, I have it. Marcus number 2. So I have it. I have everything set to use the natural play on the Voice Live 3. So I don't program keys. I don't program any of that sort of stuff. I haven't. I haven't run into difficulties yet, but I also have harmonies when I use them on this usually super subtle. I really just I don't want them standing out in the mix because it still is I'm gonna say fake. It still is a mod of kind of like my voice. So I just don't like them being really high in the mix, personally. But yeah, it's I need the chords, the full chord to be either in the loop or in something I'm playing. So there are songs that I opted not to have harmonies through the Voice Live 3 just because of how I play it, which is the old. Didn't work too well, and so I don't have harmonies in it. So yeah, maybe it's something I might look at again. Nice. Oh, good. I'm really enjoying that we're on this food thing. Pepperamis, a good guitar food. I can see that being a good snack food for guitar. Well, I'll have to make a list. Approved approved guide to guitar snacks. I ate a grilled fish on a stick before singing. Strings were changed, but my nose realized the fish on my mic. All right. Nice. Yep. Yeah, love it. Oh, samurai guitarist, Aurelius. Yes, thank you. So actually, now that you've reminded me, I'm going to put the link in now because it's not going to be hard to find. Paul Davids. Great layering tricks is the name of the video, and I will share a link for you. Okay, so this is super handy for those of you that are looping. It is hopefully, I don't know if you click that. Should work. Yeah. It'll just give you some ideas. And Marcus, we were talking about this. Marcus number 2, but Marcus number 1. That'll be useful for you as well. Just giving you some ideas to start building tracks in different parts, and they don't necessarily have to be what's in the original song. So cool. How do I mark drum parts? Some of my drum parts are awful, I'll be honest, Mark. But I got away with for a long time just doing a really similar thing or like kind of faking it, and now I spend a bit of time actually being like, what is the groove, first of all, like learning the basics, and I'm stuck with in general for my live looping, I usually only use 1 bar, sometimes 2, but it means that the groove isn't that varied, and yeah, and it's something that basically is a process of going through and learning. If you learn where the kick and the snare are from the original song, if you're doing a cover, then it's slowly going to add to your repertoire, and I feel that my drum groove repertoire is pretty small, to be honest. So yeah, that's something that's I've been spending some time on when I learn new songs. Makes it kind of easy with doing Bloodstream. There's not a lot to practice and learn from that. Sweet. Aussie, have I got a pedal board? Yes. I've got a little pedal train that's rigged up to a bunch of different pedals, with a little power supply, and it lives at the top of a cupboard at the moment. I do enjoy fooling around with it, but yeah, I'm playing with the Voice Live 3 mostly. And okay, headphones for recording. This is good. We're diving into headphones. I get frustrated with headphones actually tracking because I just always feel like when it's at the volume, like closed back headphones, they always seem to bleed, regardless of what I do. And every now and then, I will. Do I have them? Every now and then, I will genuinely use my Apple iPhone headphones because it annoys me, which is great. Yeah, professional stuff right there. But I mostly use these, which so I have these, which are the AKG K271s. I like them. I find them really well balanced, and yeah, again, for recording, they're closed, and then they get a little bit more volume as well if I'm just plugged into any random setup. And then these are what I love because they're super comfortable, which are the AKG K712s, and they're super nice to mix on. Yeah, and super comfy. Like, I could happily sit here with these on for a long time, for as happily long as I'm happy sitting here. Sweet. Cheers, Sof. No, and thanks for the track with you guys as well. I'm really looking forward to that. We're gonna do. Can I say anything? Is it hush? Is it secret? I may or may not be doing something with The Distance in the future. Yeah, you can't answer yes. That's like, that could be yes, it's hush, or yes, it's not hush. I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Thanks for sending that through. It's gonna be fun. All I need to do is learn how to sing and play the guitar, and we'll be good. So yeah. If anyone else has got bits and pieces they want to fire into, oh, nice, Marcus, I like it. You have summed up my beatboxing skills also, which is great. I love it. That is exactly where I'm at with beatboxing. Hi-hat. Yeah, if you guys and girls have any bits and pieces you wanna fire on about anything, then let's do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably start talking about snacks and drink coffee again. And while you're thinking of what mysterious things you're gonna put on, we did this a couple of weeks ago, and I've been chatting back and forth, actually pretty slowly, but on and off with a couple of people. Like, have a think. You can reach out or not to me and connect, but have a think. Like, moving out of lockdown, don't just kind of ignore where the world is at, in a sense, for the moment, and get a sense of what would be fun for you with music. So I know this is, like, everyone's like, oh, you've got to be realistic. Yeah, this is realistic. This is very realistic. Is actually get a sense of what would be fun for you with music. And I know, like, a lot of us have looked at, like, what do I enjoy, what do I not, what's working, what's not working, kind of during, like, lockdown, and just the world and our normal environments changing. But it's a super cool little process and I'd suggest write it down. Like, obviously give yourself 10-20 minutes, whatever works, to just map out on a pad, like, what would be fun? Would I like to be playing shows at bars or venues? Would I like to be touring? Would I like to be, and it doesn't matter where you go. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's just like, allow yourself to be kind of like a little kid, being like, you know what, it'd be really fun to like tour here and have that all paid for, and yeah, that would be fun. Maybe a tour bus, I'd like that. Yeah. So honestly, I highly recommend it if you want to send something to me and have a chat about that side of stuff, especially if you're looking to be performing full time, or shift more into that arena, then yeah, do say hi and highly recommend it. Nice. Yeah, the Ditto X4, nice. I don't know if it will get an update, Aussie. Mark, drum grooves for originals but getting stuck. I don't know if you have GarageBand, but if you do, just for ideas, go through a bunch of the drummers and drum grooves that they have set up in there, or otherwise pick some tunes that you like and just just learn what. Sorry, Grimsh, I just read your message and it made me smile. But Mark, yeah, learn some of the grooves. Like as you add to your repertoire, you'll probably find different things stick out to you, or that you're listening more specifically to drums, maybe that things kind of sit. I don't feel like I'm a great you should connect with Marcus regarding that, and follow his Instagram, because there's all sorts of cool drumming on there. Grimsh, I love this. How do I feel about Tommy Emmanuel? Honestly, man, I love the dude, and I love what he has created, and in line with what I was just chatting about, of like creating a picture of kind of where to from here, even if it's like, oh, I have no idea how that might happen. He spent the time and created a bunch of if you dig back, a bunch of acoustic and electric but instrumental tunes at a time when instrumental tunes people were no longer listening to them, and he was just like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and it's going to work. So I love the story. I love his time and enthusiasm, and I think as well, there's a balance when you look at him talking about different aspects that his life has been around music and the guitar, and you've got to work out at some point what works for you, what and that combination of stuff. But just in a life picture, and he's been pretty candid talking about some of that at times, which is cool. But I've seen him a couple of times, and I've seen him play astoundingly, amazingly well, and I saw him play really pretty averagely after he had a bunch of stuff going on in his life, and he came back and toured, and it wasn't great. And I actually really appreciated seeing that show as much as anything, because it was just realizing that it's like, he's human, and we kind of end up at the amount of our performance is what we practiced in. So it's the same for me. Even something I've played a stack of times, if I don't play for a month and then just turn up and be like, okay, cool, I used to play this heaps and I was really good at it, it's not going to be that great. It's just like, well, that's kind of how it goes. Hey team, bunch of new people jumped on or have been hiding secretly, not saying anything. Appreciate having you here. Europe, I am doing great, thank you. Flying formation, nice. I'm doing, I'd say even excellent. Nice. And Heidi, hello. Sweet. Cool. The Patreon thing. Yeah, I have a Patreon. I appreciate you guys and girls that are on there. The last week, as you notice on my channel, on Patreon, there was absolutely nothing. I put a bunch of it's something that I'm growing and experimenting with, to be honest. But I put a few things of behind the scenes sometimes when I'm filming what actually happened, and there'll be one that goes up actually later this week on the Patreon thing for you guys, just because I think it's a laugh when you see videos that are produced and finished online. Often what I intended them to be is not how they panned out, which is just sometimes how it goes. And sometimes I can make something that I think, oh, this is still cool from it and valuable. Sometimes I really don't want to upload something, but I've worked on it a long time, and I just think, well, okay, it is what it is. If you enjoy it, awesome. It's not what I thought it might have been. So And look, I really appreciate you guys and girls that contribute to me, and with the Patreon, as I think it's on there, it's an evolving thing, and it's something that sometimes there will be more stuff that I contribute and we connect a lot more, and sometimes there just won't be, and I'll be like, hey, I really appreciate your support, thank you. I'm also busy doing all sorts of other things, so I really like the community, and it's nice to be able to connect a little bit more personally with all of you that are on there. So yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah, I'm not sure. Nice. Whereabouts in Australia are you, Heidi? Because I'm curious. Depending on what you answer, I may divulge some secret information about myself. Sweet. Civic guitarist, Osnoy. Yeah, cool. Nice, Marcus. I like that. Connecting with people and that sort of thing. Niall, is that how I say your name? Sorry, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. Looking to start up on YouTube. Tips for someone wanting to stream and create content. Yeah, look, it's for the YouTube thing. I started because cool, thanks. I started doing YouTube things, and I really got into video, really created it. If you look on my channel, there's a bunch of these vlogs that I really enjoyed the process, but some of them are pretty terrible. There's one, the first day I got a longboard, and it's legit. The whole vlog is like me longboarding up to the local cafe to get coffee. But I think if you want to do the YouTube thing, it's got to be fun for you. Like I guess like 3 things for me, Niall, is I have to have fun. It has to be something that I want to contribute and create, and like doing these, I really enjoy it. Like I hope you guys and girls get value out of these sessions, but it's fun for me as well. I obviously love performing, love music, and it's been a massive blessing to have that in my life. So being able to share some of it as well is pretty cool. And then, yeah, in terms of the editing side of it, everyone has a different path. There are really successful YouTube channels that the editing is awful, but who they are, their story is beyond, trumps the like editing and film work. Ooh. Okay, I'm not sure if I disappeared or not. It told me my connection was unstable. And then there's others where it's all about the film work and that sort of thing. And then obviously in the music realm, there's I feel like, both sides of it as well. There's a combination, I think, that you can help yourself, whatever you're doing, if you just keep on a process to aim to improve the quality of what you're doing, and then also share it. Just be willing to be vulnerable and be like, this is what I did today. Some stuff will be great, some stuff won't be. That's actually okay. That's part of the process. And just don't get worried about it. If you're enjoying the process, keep uploading stuff and keep having fun. And I had a note. Sorry, I'm talking about this a long time, but I really like your question. So it sounds like now I'm like, I didn't like the other ones, but I like this one. But I had a note above my desk that said 2 things. It was like entertain or create value. And those were the 2 things that I kind of like base stuff on. And one of them, like entertain, was me. I needed to entertain me too in the process of making videos. So yeah, nice, cool. Yeah, Phil is an excellent guitarist as well. So Queensland, nice. Is it still nice and sunny and warm, Heidi? Cool. Right, I am going to answer this and then we're going to finish up. Thank you all for hanging out. But overdrive on acoustic guitar for solos whilst looping, I love it. I think it's awesome to create a different sound, a different tone. And Overdrive can give you a little bit of a, depending on how you use it, you can use it super subtly to just create an edge that, you know, a lot of people won't even necessarily notice is there, but suddenly it's like, oh, okay, there was a nice kind of bite to your lead, and you'll find the sound that works for you. But I think it's great. I just would be cautious of doing it for every solo if you're playing acoustically, so that and I'm saying this, I don't know your style or the sort of songs that you're doing, to be honest, but I think creating some sort of variation in what you're doing throughout a show and live things is cool. So but yeah, I have a little Overdrive super light setup on my acoustic tone, and then I have like a heavier version, again depending on what kind of solo and lead I'm doing. So yeah, it's I'll leave it entirely up to you, but I think it's a cool option. So yeah, and nice. Marcus is like the Smolder acoustic Overdrive. I really like the full tone. Is it like the MOSFET full drive, which is on my pedal board hiding in the cupboard. So hey, thanks everybody for jumping on. I really enjoy these sessions. I hope you do too. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. There will be some videos that will appear around they're waiting to emerge around some stuff with looping with the Voice Live 3, and oh, cheers, Niall. Appreciate it, man. And also I did another little duet video, which was fun. So and not this week because we have some work to do, but my secret collaboration with The Distance. So thanks for jumping on, team. Appreciate you all being here, and we'll see you online or on socials or all that fun stuff somewhere there. Cheers, everyone.